Hey y'all, welcome to my channel, welcome back. This pick a card reading will be, do they have any regrets? So from left to right you have pile 1 and pile 2. So you have the 2 of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles, and the 2 of Swords. I feel like this person goes back and forth when it comes to how they feel. This person could be really hard on themselves. They try not to blame themselves too much, but they kind of feel like something is their fault. But they go back and forth between putting a lot of pressure and blame on themselves versus how they grew up or the struggles that they had to go through. Because right now they're really highlighting their finances. They regret not being able to give to you financially as much as they wanted to, but they feel like it's partially not their fault because of where they come from, how they grew up, how they was raised. They could be kind of pessimistic, but it's something that they deal with internally. That's why they kind of like, they blame themselves, but they also blame what they're dealing with. So they feel like, yes, something was their fault, but they also feel like they couldn't control that because it's something that they've been struggling with throughout their life. But do they have regrets? Yes, they do. Like I said, it's mainly their finances. This person wish they had more to offer you. They wish they were working at better jobs, or they wish they were able to keep a job long enough to support you, to support themselves. They could currently be in this position still struggling financially, trying to find some type of balance or trying to find their way. They also regret being indecisive. It's really hard for this person to make decisions, especially like very important decisions. To buy a home, to buy a vehicle, to start a family, to get married. Like those are really tough decisions for this person to make. And they could regret not being able to make that decision or not being able to kind of set the tone or have a sense of direction, have a sense of guidance, especially in this connection, but also like in their life. So that's when that back and forth continues to come into place. They feel bad because they struggle to keep themselves afloat, and ultimately that ended up being the same problem in the relationship where they could not keep the relationship afloat. So there's definitely a lot of regret here. There is guilt here, and it seems like they're still trying to figure out how to find this solution. Even if it's been years since you separated from this person, they still feel like a lack of importance. You have the 6 of Swords here and the Queen of Wands. When this separation occurred, this person, they could have been very calm. They could have allowed you to walk out of the door. They may not have put up much of a fight. And that is one of their regrets because they know they let a great person walk out of their life. This person has a lot of underlying issues. This could be the way that they describe it, but there's something here where they've been dealing with this for a while. This person just chooses to suppress it. So they're not taking care of what they need to take care of. And that's causing them to continue to be in this 5 of Pentacles energy. This person feels like you are too good for them. And a part of them knew this prior to you two connecting, but they felt like maybe they could grow in the process. Maybe they could like better themselves being with you, but it seems like it just made something worse. It made their life worse. It made their thoughts heavier. If this person blamed you for something, they could regret that as well. They could have tried to make it seem like you were the problem or you did something wrong when it was actually them. Because they feel like whatever you moved on to, you moved on in a peaceful way. You didn't go back around to this person or cause any problems. You let everything fall apart peacefully. Yeah, the Queen of Pentacles. It seems like somebody that is from your distant past because they were watching you elevate and grow into this person that you are. Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles. I feel like that's what has them really feeling the most regret because they're still in this 5 of Pentacles. They're still confused, still trying to figure out their way. And they just kind of wish that they would have done better or worked towards being a better person, being a better version of themselves when y'all were in a connection. So your success and your accomplishments is honestly causing this person a lot of stress. It's making them feel like they fumbled, and it's kind of proving to them that they weren't enough for you, and also that they would have never been enough for you. So this person feels very sad about this, very upset, and there's a lot of things that they need to heal and work on within themselves. It's great to see that you're doing great things in your life, but it's also heartbreaking for them to watch you move on and prosper while they're still in the same energy. So the energy that they feel is very bittersweet, to be honest. And they kind of feel like you see this relationship as a lesson learned and you have moved on with your life. They could also feel like you forgot about them, like you don't think about them, you don't care about them. They're just like a distant memory, if even that. So that's your reading. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you like, comment, and subscribe. If you would like to book a personal reading, you can check out my community tab. Until then, I'll talk to you soon. So you have the Knight of Cups, the Chariot, and the Eight of Pentacles. Do they have any regrets? It feels like their energy right now is focused on something else. They feel kind of detached, honestly. This could be a facade, but so far it feels like their energy is just focused on their work. They're focused on moving on. They're not really prioritizing what could have transpired between the two of y'all. Four of Cups and a Ten of Cups. They're thinking about something when it comes to their personal life, their family, where they grew up, how they grew up. It's something that they're not trying to acknowledge about themselves. This person continues to do the same thing over and over again. So they could be someone who is in and out of relationships, but they keep facing the same issues. It's something within them that they're not willing to change, or they're too ashamed to acknowledge. It's kind of like somebody who wants something, like they want a relationship, they want a family, but once they get it, they feel like there's something better. Like they get tired of it. So they're kind of in and out of connections. It's kind of like they only start to feel regret once they get what they want. They kind of get bored of it, or they just feel empty. And that's why I said it's something within them that they need to face, because that's the only reason why they're feeling this emptiness, even when they have everything that they've asked for. Yeah, Nine of Swords. So them not feeling regret specifically pertaining towards the connection has no reflection of you or what they did to you. It does not like justify or demean what they did to you or how they made you feel. It's more so this person having a lot of internal issues, especially mentally. They always feel empty. They always feel some type of lack, but it stems from their childhood. It stems from the way that they grew up, the type of environment they grew up in. So do they have regrets towards the relationship? I would say no, because this is something that they do all the time. They always enter connections. They get what they want. They have, a beautiful significant other inside and out, but they still feel like there's something missing. They're going down this path of entering and exiting connections because they don't feel any type of fulfillment or satisfaction completely. This could be them like working at multiple jobs. They always quit jobs. They're always moving somewhere. This person's always like relocating, but it's something that they need to heal within themselves. Right now, they're not in the energy to do that. They're not even thinking about doing that, but they are aware that they need to work on themselves. They're just not trying to deal with all of that. It'll be harder for them to do that than to continue to do what they're doing now in that Knight of Cups energy. So they're still in this cycle of not healing and just taking as much as they can and then leaving and just continuously doing that. But it's not doing them any justice. They're just constantly feeling empty. So they're dealing with their own challenge, and in order for them to heal and be in a better position, they need to walk away from all of these issues that they have going on. But right now they're just thinking about how the connections in their life continue to end, how friendships end, relationships, their jobs, like how things keep falling apart for them, and how they just want something that's going to fulfill them, but they're not going to get that. And this could be this person feeling like this is some type of karma, but it's more so them not holding themselves accountable for their actions and the lack of them prioritizing their own mental health, physical health, emotional health. They're just not willing to grow up and mature. That requires too much work for this person to do. So right now they're kind of stuck in this cycle, in this like really miserable like loop where they keep doing the same thing and it's the same sad outcome for them. So that's your reading. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you like, comment, and subscribe. If you would like to book a personal reading, you can check out my community tab. And until then, I'll talk to you soon.